Kentucky?
Mountain Josh Musial Comics. Marvel news roundup of the week. Just a couple of news tidbits.
Teddy bitties.
Um, yeah, one actually, it's kind of not a tidbit, but it's a big deal.
Mm.
Marvel Studios visual effects workers have voted to unionize on the heels of damning disclosures. Coming off a series
Probably
of
for the best.
damning reports about Marvel Studios overworking and underpaying its visual effects crews, a group of more than 50 on-set employees have filed a petition and voted to unionize.
Ooh.
Following multiple reports of visual effects crews being pushed to meet unreasonable deadlines by Marvel Studios, visual effects artists at the studio have finally petitioned to demand union recognition. According to a report by Vulture, a group of more than 50 on-set employees filed a petition for an election to be represented by the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees with the National Labor Relations Board. The workers are asking for the election to be held as early as, August 21st. This marks the first time visual effects workers have joined forces to demand the same rights, wage protections, professional watchdog oversight enjoyed by professionals in almost every other part of the entertainment industry. Also, did you know? I found this out from watching Kev Smith's live stream.
Mm.
Animation writers are not union. They've never been union. So if
Really?
you write an animation show, you are not protected by a union. I also believe that he said Kevin was getting like $2,500 a script for the He-Man per episode.
Wow.
Because that's not part of a union. Crazy.
That is crazy.
That
I
is
had
crazy.
no idea, dude.
Yeah. For almost half a century, workers in the visual effects industry have been denied the same protections and benefits their coworkers and crewmates have relied upon since the beginning of Hollywood film industry. Visual effects organizer Mark Patch said in a statement, "This is a heroic first step for visual effects workers coming together with a collective voice demanding respect for what we do. Turnaround times don't apply to us, protected hours don't apply to us, and pay equity doesn't apply to
Jesus.
us." Coordinator Bella Huffman, who counts Hawkeye among her credits, visual effects must become a sustainable and safe department for everyone who suffered far too long and for all newcomers who need to know they won't be exploited. Yeah, you guys go. Get your union. Um,
Yep.
I mean, it's about time. Like, Marvel
Get
was
'em.
only, I mean, Marvel got what they deserved. They pushed them far enough that this was inevitable. Um, I also saw that Seth Rogen, who got a lot of backlash for Sausage Party and the
Mm-hmm.
way his production company treated those animators, he said this time on Mutant Ninja Turtles, he was heavily involved in making sure the animators weren't overworked, got paid
Mm-hmm.
overtime, etc., etc. So if I'm not sure if he either fixed his mistakes or he wasn't involved the first time and found out about it afterwards. I don't know.
Yep.
Because a lot of those are like production company hires other company as a subcontractor, and that subcontractor's shitty to their workers, and then are blaming the production company who's making the movie, saying, "Oh, it's their deadlines. It's not us making you work these many hours." I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You never know that situation with subcontractors, but
Right.
yeah, go visual effects. This is good for Marvel. Here's why it's good for Marvel. It will force them to slow down,
Yes.
give better, more reasonable times for good visual effects, and it won't look like crap and rushed anymore. So, or maybe this will force them to go back to practical effects for a lot of their stuff.
Oh God. Now you're just stop. You're gonna make me cry over here.
Incredible Hulk 2 plans revealed by
Mm.
director Louis Leterrier, who directed the first one, which was
Yes.
pretty good. I think overall, I think
It
most of
held up.
us, yeah.
Yeah.
Superhero movie, The Incredible Hulk was really planned to have a sequel, and now some details have emerged on what would have happened in the unmade film. Released in 2008, we all know that. Yeah, so quote, yeah, there was like a whole sequel. There was Grey Hulk, Red Hulks. There's a lot of good stuff that we're planning. The Fast X Helmer explained, revealing how there were early plans to introduce Hulk variants in the MCU. That was an idea that went to the wayside when the sequel was nixed. though there are reports that Harrison Ford and Liv Tyler are playing Red Hulk and Red She-Hulk in the upcoming Captain America Brave New World. Of course, it's also worth noting that more of the Hulk mythos was explored with Disney Plus series She-Hulk Attorney at Law. Hulk's evolution in the MCU isn't what Louis Leterrier had in mind. Leterrier also expressed his opinion on how the way Ruffalo's Hulk has evolved in the MCU as a far cry from what the director had in mind, where the character should be going. As the director said, Hulk is a complex character within the Marvel Universe. You want the primeval Hulk, the Rage Hulk, and when you go Grey Hulk and Smart Hulk, you lose a little bit of that, and you get a little bit more kiddish with it. But that was the fun of where I was in the movie with the access to the consciousness and all of that stuff. Leterrier continued noting that how he's still a fan of the MCU's Hulk, even if it's not the same. That was really fun, and that's what I was aiming to do, but take my time with it. There's so many characters that want it all fast.
Yeah.
I like She-Hulk, but then, yoga between Hulk, and I was like, okay, yeah, they're very far from where my Hulk was.
Yeah.
I don't really know what to say about that. He's done some good movies. He's done some bad movies.
Mm-hmm.
Did he do the Clash of the Titans?
That's a great question. I don't know. I was just about to look it up, but I don't.
I have not watched any of the Fast and Furious movies, so I don't know if any of them are good. I mean, I watched the first
Some of them, sure, yeah. Some of them are not bad.
Why can I not spell Lewis?
Yeah, Lewis. Yeah. Oh man, he did the Transporter. He did the first Transporter.
Well, he did do Clash of the Titans. Yikes.
Yeah, he did. I just found it here. And he also did Now You See Me, the first one. That was good.
Oh yeah, so the first Transporter was good. It's kind of hit and miss.
Transporter 2 was good.
Brothers Grimsby. Was that funny?
I didn't watch that.
Sacha Baron Cohen, Mark Strong. And it had two really good actors in it. I just don't remember if it was funny. Let us know in the comics. Was the Brothers Grimsby funny?
Isla Fisher, Rebel
Lupin
Wilson,
is great.
Sigourney Weaver, and Giga Brace, Sotheby. Oh, sorry, and Penelope Cruz. Okay.
He directed looks like a Super Bowl commercial for Wix.com.
Perfect.
Tycoon. I don't know what that is. So hit and miss. Okay.
Yeah, hit and miss. Yeah.
Okay. Daredevil writer DG Chichester returns to Marvel Comics for a Black Armour limited series based on his 90s run. Marvel Comics has confirmed we will get the chance to return to Matt Murdock's Armored Up 90s days in the pages of this November's Daredevil Black Armour. Written by DG with art from Nethio Diaz and JP Mayer, the 4-issue limited series takes place during Chichester's beloved run of the title, remembered for the epic storylines like Last Rites and Fall from Grace. He reintroduced Elektra to the Marvel Universe and suited up Matt Murdock in a sleek new armored costume. Quote, if someone told me earlier that I'd have another chance to put on Daredevil's horns, let alone horns attached to a suit of black armor, I'd have thought they'd have taken one too many whacks to the head with a billy club. It's unexpected but welcome thrill to visit Matt Murdock's neighborhood again and to work with Marvel on going back in time to discover a new adventure for the Man Without Fear. The Daredevil office has been incredibly encouraging in taking some wild swings of this series, returning Matt and Daredevil and that costume where I left them as the writer I am now has been an amazing experience. I hope fans of Fall from Grace and Fall of the Kingpin stories find more to enjoy in my take on hypersenses, heightened action, especially seen in an entirely new way thanks to the dynamite art and visual storytelling of Netho Diaz and JP Mayer. Here is an epic variant cover from Black Armor #1. That one's really sweet.
Mm-hmm.
That would be really good in a Virgin variant too. Oh,
Yeah,
well, it's
that'd
only
be
two
cool.
covers. Boo. Yeah, so that comes out in when? November? Did it say November? November, yeah, this November.
Yeah.
Daredevil Black Armor.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah, so I know we talked during the Keys of the Week, Daughters of Liberty book was spiking in the sales. That's because of this article. Marvel Studios was reportedly developing a Daughters of Liberty prior to the SAG-AFTRA strike. Shortly after Avengers Endgame was released, we heard Marvel Studios might be considering an A-Force movie that would put the spotlight on MC female heroes. We know the likes of Brie Larson and Elizabeth Olsen once pushed Kevin Feige to make the project a reality. For the time being, the closest we're going to get to that is the Marvels. However, new rumors suggest Daughters of Liberty was taking shape prior to the WGA and SAG-AFTRA strikes. According to Scooper Daniel Rickman, this movie or TV show, not sure which, was only ever in the very early stages of development and may have even just been an idea rather than something Marvel Studios is looking to bring to the screen. Thanks to former Disney CEO Bob Chapek, there was a period when Kevin Feige was allowed or compelled into giving any and every character a place on Disney Plus. So this could be a holdover from that. However, we'd be lying to say Daughters of Liberty doesn't have some real potential. The team debuted in the pages of Captain America #7 in 2018. And Peggy Carter assembled the team alongside her niece Sharon Carter. They were joined by Agatha Harkness, Spider-Woman, White Tiger, Mockingbird, Tony Ho, Echo, Misty Knight, Invisible Woman, and Shuri. So 1, 2, 3. I mean, there's 6 of those girls already in the MCU established.
Yep.
Well, then you could find something. Well, I guess Misty Knight isn't really in it until Daredevil. Like, she was Netflix, right? She hasn't been in Disney Plus MCU yet?
No,
right.
I don't think so.
And Luke Cage. Was she in Luke Cage too? Or was it just Daredevil? I forget which one she's in that whole series.
I can't remember now either.
Anyway, she's in it. Many of these characters already exist in the MCU, while others are on their way. White Tiger, for example, is expected to be in Born Again. Ironheart, Kate Bishop, and Yelena Belova are also contenders to join the group's ranks in this shared world. Yeah, that'd be cool. That's fine. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse scrapped one Spidey variant due to legal issues with DC Comics. Amalgam Comics Spider-Boy was a combination of Spider-Man and Superboy, but one of the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse character designers has now confirmed he was cut from the recently released sequel. As sales plummeted, both Marvel and DC were struggling to stay afloat in the 90s. Marvel Comics even faced bankruptcy at one point, and the publishers eventually agreed to embark on a crossover with 96 Marvel versus DC. The Amalgam Comics event mashed characters together from both worlds to create new heroes and villains. In that reality, Peter Parker was a scientist at Project Cadmus who, while attempting to create a super soldier, was killed in an explosion when his clone woke up. General Thunderbolt Ross discovered the boy and subsequently adopted him, naming the teenage Peter Ross. However, when Uncle Jen was killed by a mugger, this is such bad writing already, was killed by a mugger, this part Spider-Man, part Superboy hybrid became the hero known as Spider-Boy. It's now been revealed that this web-slinger was among the many Spider-Man variants considered for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Spider Society scenes. However, as the character designer Chris Anka explains, legal issues with DC Comics made this an impossibility. We're shocked that there was no way to sneak in Spider-Boy into the sequel, but it probably wasn't worth the legal headache, and which would have inevitably follow. A blurry look at the scrapped web slinger can be seen below. Oh yeah, there he is. It's fine. Doesn't really sound like a well thought out character in the first place. Okay, last news this week is also a weird thing. Marvel Comics reveals bonkers new Cap Wolf in the Howling Commandos series.
What?
In the early 90s, Steve Rogers transformed into Cap Wolf in writer Mark Grunwald and artist Rick Levin's Unforgettable Man and Wolf story arc. Now, over 30 years later, this savage Steve is back in his own limited series, Cap Wolf and the Howling Commandos. Written by Stephanie Phillips with artwork by Carlos Magno. The 4-issue limited series will tell an all-new story where Steve becomes a terrifying werewolf during an early World War II mission. Luckily, his fiercest allies are by his side, Nick Fury and the Howling Commandos. I'm actually really excited to read this. After years of combat, this elite squad of soldiers thought they had seen it all, but this is maybe their wildest adventure yet in a series which promises to capture the spirit of Stan Lee and Jack Kirby's classic wartime storytelling with a modern mystical twist. Quote, "This is the kind of story I was dying to tell at Marvel, blending my love of historical fiction and the incredible history of the Marvel characters in the Marvel Universe." Phillips enthuses. Cap Wolf and the Howling Commandos may be a war story, but it also has a horror, romance, and a few new characters that we introduced along the way. Can we get this idea in a movie already? It definitely should be a what if.
Yeah,
That'd be a great
100%.
what if.
Yeah.
Along with the announcement, Marvel Comics is revealed cover art by Ryan Brown, Gary Frank, Declan Shalvey, and more. We're not sure how the story will fit into the wider Marvel Universe timeline, but it's always fun to revisit Cap's World War II days. This comes out in October for Halloween. So here's some covers.
That one's
That one's
sweet.
pretty cool. I definitely like this one.
Yeah, that one's cool. That one's really cool too,
That
actually.
That one's good too, yeah.
I
Yeah,
like that
so
one.
that's comes out in October. Cap, Wolf, and the Howling Commandos. That's it for Marvel news. If we ever get more news again, it's getting thin. It's getting
That's
thin,
getting a
folks.
little thin, but we're gonna try to muster.
Yeah. So we'll be back, and thanks. Check out uslcomics.com.